So last week, we were looking at two-way frequency charts. And this is kind of finishing up the probability stuff. So on this one, a survey was conducted to determine whether a group of 11th graders and 12th graders preferred to go to the amusement park or to the zoo for a class trip. The results are shown in the table. Based on the table, what's the probability that a student preferred a class trip to the zoo given they are in 11th grade? If it says probability, we're looking for a fraction. We need to get a fraction on this. So the top number, what's going to be the top number? So we have zoo, 11th grade. 18. So 18 of the 11th graders said zoo. So 18's on top. Out of, now here's kind of the tricky part, because it said, given they're in 11th grade. So I'm looking at just the 11th graders. So what's the bottom number? Well, how many 11th graders did they talk to?
Is it 50?
It would be 50. They didn't give us a total, but I can find the total by adding these together. So it's 50 here. So that's the 11th graders. So that goes here. So since it says, given they are 11th grade, I want to do it based on just the 11th grade. So I didn't even need the 12th grade numbers. It was there just to kind of try to confuse us. So 18 out of 50. Like I mentioned before on the state test, as long as it's something equivalent to that, they're fine. So you could have reduced. You could have gotten 9 over 25. You could have divided, got 0.36. You could have changed it to a percent and got 36%. Any of those answers would have been acceptable on the state test. The state test is made up of multiple choice. Multiple choice is either right or wrong, and you just pick an answer. Answers that you can type in number-wise, like this one, and as long as it's equivalent, they'll take it. Some of the questions have like a drop-down, where there'll be like 2 or 3 blocks, and then it gives you like 2 or 3 choices for each one. And then there's a few others where they give you like, it was like a word bank or a choice bank, and it's a drag and drop. You pick them up, put them in place. Those are the type of questions on the state test. Are we okay on this one? Any questions on this one? Next one. This one, we're missing things. So that's the first thing I have to do is fill out this chart. So filling out this chart, here had to add up to 2,500, so I would need a 2,000 here. Because 500 plus 2,000 is 2,500. So that's the first thing. Here had to add up to 6,250. So if I take 6,250, subtract 2,500, I get 3,750. So there's that one. Well, then I can kind of work my way sideways. This is 2,500. These added up to 4,500. So I had 8,000 left here. And you can either go this way or this way. This way might be a little bit quicker. 6,250 subtract 8,000, 8,250. So that's the first step. It's just to fill out the chart. And this particular question is the exact same question that's on the test 2 years ago. It was on that 2 years ago. Now, it actually had a multiple choice answers. You just kind of picked one. I got rid of the multiple choice answers, and you just had to kind of figure it out. But the question says, what's the probability that a female student chosen at random is pursuing an undergraduate degree? It says probability. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is kind of figure out the fraction. What's the top number?
8,000.
8,000. Because it's female undergraduate. 8,000. Well, it says, what's the probability that a female student chosen at random? So I'm choosing from the female students. So what's the bottom number? 12,500. It didn't say what's the probability that a student chosen at random is a female pursuing an undergraduate degree, because that would have been different. I'm picking from the females. So 12,500. Now all the choices on this are percents. So 8,000 divided by 12,500. You got 64.64, which ends up giving you 64%. And like I said, on the test itself, it was a multiple choice. So you would just circle in the 64%. Questions on that one? Are we okay there? Next one. I've got a chart. I'm missing numbers on my chart. And that's basically the question is filling out the chart. So there's not a specific other question. The question is just fill out the chart. There was 200 people that attended the party. That's that bottom right-hand number. A person selected at random to win the prize. The probability of selecting a female was 0.6. So out of everybody, 200, and I apologize for how fuzzy this is. I couldn't get a very good snip out of it. Females was 0.6. Well, this one actually doesn't even really help us because I get 120. And I already knew the 120 for females. So they gave us that percent or that decimal, and it didn't even really help us. So the next one says the probability of selecting a child given the person is female is 0.25. So I know I'm going to have to multiply something by 0.25. Now I've got to figure out what I'm multiplying. It says the probability of selecting a child given the person is female. So what am I multiplying the 0.25 by? Given the person is female. Say it again. 120. Because since it's given the person is female, I want the female total here. Well, when I multiply, I get 30. And that's the chance of a child. So this is going to be child, female, 30. So that's a 30 there. They give us another one, but I actually don't even need it. Because now I can just use all my totals. 120 subtract 30 is 90. 50 subtract 30 is 20, which is actually the other one they give me. They said the probability of selecting a male given the person is a child is 0.4. So if I take 0.4, given the person is a child, I do the child number, which is 50, which is 20, which is what I just got. And then the last one has to be 60. So there's my 4 blocks. Most questions on the state test are 1-pointers. So this is even a 1 point. There are a few 2-pointers. There used to be 4-pointers, but that's back when you had to actually kind of type extended response in for math. But they don't have extended response for math anymore. Yes, there's a few things you have to type in yourself, but it's not really typing explanations, which used to be the 4-pointers. So there's 1s and 2s. Question on this guy. Any question on this one? They give us 2 charts. So this chart is just numbers. 6 girls said they liked basketball. 12 said they liked football. 18, they said they liked soccer. They had talked to 36 girls. Same with the boys. They totaled everything up. So there's my 2 charts. Then I had some multiple choice questions. So these multiple choice questions, some of them are trickier than others. So question 1. More girls prefer soccer than boys. True or false?
True.
That is true. No matter how you look at it, it's going to be true. Because if I look, 18 girls versus 10 boys preferred soccer. Or if I even consider it as a percent, 18 out of 36 girls preferred soccer, which was 0.5, compared to 10 out of 44 boys preferred soccer, which was 0.2 something. 10 divided by 44, 0.23. So no matter how you looked at it, girls preferred soccer. Next one's a tricky one. The next one said 22.5% of the girls preferred soccer. 22.5% of the girls preferred soccer.
It's false.
It is false. Even though if you looked at the chart up there, it looked like, there was a 22.5 just right there sticking at it. They're just staring at us. But the question said 22.5% of the girls preferred soccer. Well, we just found out from this question, of the girls, 18 of 36 preferred soccer, which was 50%. That 22.5 wasn't of the girls, it was everybody. That one was out of everybody. 3 was pretty straightforward. Overall favorite sports, football?
False. I think
that one's true. I think football basically won out of everybody.
Yeah, it's just, okay, you're right.
Football won.
Well,
And it did say overall, so I wasn't looking at male or female. I was just looking at overall. This is a little bit tricky one. No, not 4. 5 is the next little tricky one. More girls than boys took the survey. False. Fewer girls took the survey, so that's false. Next one was a little bit tricky. 6% of the girls preferred basketball. False. They did have a 6 there, but the 6 was just a number. So it's basically 6 of the 36 girls preferred basketball, which would have been 6 out of 36, which should have been 17%, not 6%. So that one was false. So that's how it went. Two-way frequency chart. Finishing up probability stuff. Now there still may be a few probability ones on the ones I'm going to be giving you, because now we're just kind of doing random old questions. Questions on this. I'm going to pause this or stop this for the time being.